deal with hazards on the world that we know, you know. And, you know, in some ways, Joel points out, and others point out, we're getting better at that. And in certain ways, the most important thing I think that we're getting better at is just having more information. The internet has been the most useful safety device of the cell phone in the world. That's why when there's a big typhoon in Bangladesh now, it kills a few thousand people, not a few 100,000 people, because there's enough cell phone warning to get people into rudimentary shelters. So one imagines that human ingenuity, being what it is, will continue trying to figure out smart, wise ways to lessen those. The other problem that we're dealing with is taking that world that we've known for quite a while and changing it in for another world that operates very differently, that has more energy in the system, that takes us out of the Holocene and into the Anthropocene or whatever we're going to call it. And that's the world where all bets are off. And where if we go down that path, there's no reason to think that our kind of you know, particular savvy and things will be enough to even begin to cope with the changes that are coming. Think about, I mean, when people at Stanford and the University of Washington say we can expect 30% fall in grain yields over the course of the century if we let the temperature go up the way it seems set to go up at the moment. That's not a disaster for which any sort of human ingenuity is going to help us very much. That's the one that leaves us in enormous, enormous trouble. And so the prevention of that is, I mean, just seems to me the overriding priority. Trying to keep that next slug of carbon from going into the atmosphere that's going to drive us past those thresholds. I'm reasonably confident that all things being equal, we'll get better at dealing with, hazards because we have over time, but I'm not at all confident that we can cope with that other world. And that's why it makes so much sense to put every priority we can into slowing down its arrival and making it as close to the world that we know as we possibly can.
I think that's a track, right? What do you see in